We had a momentous occasion last Wednesday, two Wednesdays ago, on the podcast, where good old Alan Thompson sent us a gift package with
candy,
with peanut butter cup eggs, lots of Dum Dums we have to take because I don't want them all, and also another treat.
Yeah. Okay, so Alan Thompson, my good buddy, regular Nintendo, included a copy of DuckTales Remastered on the Wii U. And once someone sends something to me in a friendly gesture, I can't not at least try it. So I need to preface this before I jump in. And for anyone who's hoping for me to get all sensationalistic and yell, it's probably not going to happen. So,
unless you try to do a let's play of it.
Well, I mean, it also depends on how emotional I get as I start talking. Sometimes I don't know where my emotions are going to take me. So, to start, I hate questions about favorites. But when people ask me what my favorite video game is, I inevitably say DuckTales. It's not just a quick answer to get people off my back. It is literally, no joke, 100% my favorite video game of all time.
Of all time.
In my senior year of high school, I played it almost every day in an attempt to shave my time down. It was the only game I've ever tried speedrunning. I got down to 13 minutes. I know the levels front and back. There's just nothing I don't know about the game. So I am going to come at this, as I've always said, as a far harsher critic than most. So on to the game. It's made by WayForward, which is a company I don't have a lot of great love for. It's published by Capcom. And right off the bat, one of the first things you're going to notice is that it looks fucking gorgeous. It does. It does look nice. The sprites look nice. Controls. I'm going to hit on some of the basic things first before I go into other stuff. I had a lot of people who were iffy about the game bitch about the controls as they had played it at various conventions, saying it was floaty or it didn't feel right. I'm actually going to call foul on that. The game feels just fine.
I said it to you when I played it. It felt
the pogo jumping felt fine. Even the way you can short hop Scrooge, which is very important. Even though you can short hop Scrooge is very much the original game. Mm-hmm. The music, for the most part, while the Nintendo version has one of the most lauded soundtracks out there, the versions of the music they did for this one are pretty good. So, in all the areas where WayForward usually shines, graphical presentation and music, this really worked. What I wasn't expecting from them was for the controls to work as nicely as they did. That's about where the nice things stop. The introductory level that they make you go through is boring and painful. They introduce mechanics such as button pushing and they're little things, but these little trap disarming segments.
Sure.
That just they don't fit into the game. The cutscenes, which everyone warned me would probably be one of my biggest issues, are just abysmally annoying. I appreciate the voice acting. You guys went out and you got the original voice acting cast and crew, and the voice acting is fantastic. But I don't need that in the game.
Does it break up the game for you, the flow?
It breaks up the game horribly. Because, honestly, there are parts where you will stop every minute for something like that.
That's bad.
And you can skip the cutscenes. But the problem is, you can't skip the cutscenes by pressing a button. You have to press start, and then go to the menu and hit skip cutscene.
There's no option to just turn them off?
I didn't see. I didn't see one. So, and everyone says, skip them. I didn't see one that just turned it off completely. I think there might have been an update that lets you, so before people flay me, I will say that that's possible.
Well, this is August 2013. This is the first episode of the podcast, so this is the review that we're doing. So, there is no update yet.
So, anyway, you can skip them, but it still takes 2 button presses, and then a brief second of delay as it transitions back to the game. It's not ideal.
Sure.
So I go through and I beat the first level. All right. The first boss was kind of fun. It's a Beagle Boy. This is the new level, by the way. This is like Scrooge's money bank, whatever. And the first boss is kind of fun and definitely kind of fits in the mold of the original DuckTales bosses. It's repetitive. You find the pattern. It's very easy. So I beat that. and I explore some stuff real quick. You know, you walk up to a console, and it gives you like a console like it does in the Nintendo game, and you pick, you know, from the areas you want to go to. And then it's a cute touch. You can go into his vault, and as you beat more levels, more money gets added, and you can take a swan dive in. So there are cute little touches. But I had to play a level, and I had to play a level that I loved and that I know very well, and that has a lot of shortcuts. So I jumped in and I played African Mines. Like I said, I love that level, and that's when things went downhill real fast. Immediately upon entering, they tell you to press start to look at a map. And I go, yeah, I don't remember these maps. This game was pretty easy to explore, and like...
Okay,
so you press it. So you press it, and you look at the map, and I'm like, no, this isn't the fucking layout of African Mines. So here's kind of how the game... So immediately what I wanted to do, I started moving through African Mines, and most people know this at this point, but there's that secret where Miss Beasley is, right? And she drops the ice cream down to you, and you can hop across the 3 frogmen to get to the big treasure chest, and then skip like directly to the boss, basically. So I go down to try to do that. And instead of just standing under Mrs. Beasley and getting your ice cream, you get another fucking cutscene where she talks to you about making sure you're getting all your health, and then she throws a bunch of ice cream and cakes at you, and then she runs away, and it's just completely not needed. It just breaks up the flow of the game. So I get to the edge, and I'm like, and I jump. I'm like, oh shit, these frogmen are still here. I'm like, boing, 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 sweet. And I get over there, and there's like a couple of diamonds and a dead end.
So they changed the level layout.
They changed the level layout horribly. And here's what they kind of did. They took basically set-piece rooms that people would remember from DuckTales. Okay? Just spots, like larger areas that people would remember. And they reworked them in a way that you have to go through every area of a level. The shortcuts aren't there anymore. The exploration is gone. The game is linear as shit. And by making you walk through everything, with all the cutscenes and that, even with skipping and all this shit, we're talking like half an hour for a level that probably should have taken me 10 minutes.
So they elongated the game, you think, unnaturally to make it seem like people are getting their money's worth.
They elongated it in a way that they didn't need to.
Well, like adding, like, I didn't like the minecarts shit at all.
No, I didn't. Yeah, because if there's one thing a video game needs more of, it's definitely fucking minecart levels. Yeah, no, that shit was awful. And the way they were, you can tell where they added stuff in and where Capcom stopped, because in the minecart levels, when you're on the minecart, and because I died a couple times, and you go off a jump, if you're on a minecart and you just press jump, you jump and you coast over to the next section of track. If, for whatever reason, that's the pit where the minecart's going to drop out below you and you have to jump into another one and you press jump, momentum doesn't carry you. You just fall like a fucking brick.
You have to jump before you hit the pit.
And you have to actually press over and do it, as opposed to the momentum of the...
stops.
Yeah, the momentum stops immediately.
Yeah, that was my biggest impression. I only played a couple levels on, I think it was like E3 2013. That was the biggest thing, like, it's like you're playing the game and then all of a sudden, new game, now it's the minecart, and it's like, it didn't feel right. That was my biggest thing.
It's so easy to see where the way forward starts and, like I said, the Capcom stops. And it's nice. It looks okay, and for the people who enjoy it, I get it. You probably, and this is not going to sound snobby, but you probably did not play the game every day your senior year of high school.
So do you recommend it at the end?
I think no. If you're really into DuckTales, I don't necessarily recommend it, because it suffers from all the problems that I think most way forward games suffer from. So I can't really recommend it that thoroughly.
Sure.
But like I said, I can't fault the people who liked it. They're just remembering DuckTales differently than I do.
Or may not have the same love or...
Right. And my last statement on this is, what I would have loved to have seen, which probably wouldn't have sold as well, just recreate it with nicer graphics. Now, I know that doesn't sound great to a lot of people because it's a game that can be beat in short time. But why not just do what Capcom was doing with like other smaller titles? Just put DuckTales 1 and DuckTales 2 together without any fucking changes, with the graphical overhaul that Way Forward did. Give me a double pack of 2 really good platformers. People are going to feel like they're getting their money's worth, and then Way Forward can still show off their artistic talents.
Well, there you have it.
That's the end.
So Ian, with a very, I guess, average review at the end of the day, So, man, with the announcement of Ben Affleck being the new Batman, this has been a really good first CU podcast. But I think we should move out of my bedroom and go to the game room. What do you think?
Fuck off.